Based on some of your concerns you told us today about the offensive line, are you contemplating any changes there, or are you going to stick with the same maybe 6 or 7 core guys you've gone with the first 2 games?
Well, that's about all we have, so 6 or 7 guys right now. Hutchinson sprained his ankle a bit, so he may not even play this week. So it'd be Jarrell and Kyle Nunn and the 3 inside guys there, Rokevius, TJ, and Garrett. But other than that, we got some freshman kids that are not quite ready to play yet, but if they had to, they'll go in there.
Steve, why do you think some of these FCS teams have been able to pull off these upsets? Do you think maybe Appalachian doing what they did to Michigan sort of opened their minds to the possibility of that, or is there more evenness between the 2 levels of football than most of us know?
Oh, I don't have the exact answer, but if you watch Miami of Ohio almost beat Florida a couple of weeks ago, you can see that they were really ready to play, and I'm not sure that the bigger schools get as fired up as maybe they need to be to play some of those smaller schools or what have you. But football, as we all know, is a game of emotion. It is. It's that old saying, it's not the dog in the fight, it's the fight in the dog when it comes to football. And certainly that's how upsets can happen. And you get a big play here or there, get a loose fumble, pick it up and score, things like that. You generally need to get 1 or 2 big breaks to get a big upset. And if you can get those and not give the other team anything, it can happen. And I think that's how James Madison did it the other day. I don't think Virginia Tech punted, but they had to kick field goals and had about 3 turnovers. So they only got 16 points without punting. That means James Madison didn't give them anything. And that's how it can happen.
Steve, after the Georgia game, a lot of folks started mentioning South Carolina as a contender in the SEC East. Do you feel that way? I mean, do you think if maybe not you're the favorites, it's a good shot?
We're contenders right now today, yeah, because we're 1-0. That's all it means, and it's better to be 1-0 than 0-1. But whatever happens down the road, we got 7 more conference games, so it's way early. We certainly hope to be a contender. We are a contender right now, certainly. I hope we are when we play the last game, the last conference game of the year.
Coach, Marcus certainly had a terrific game with those 37 carries. But along that line, how does Kenny Miles and even Jarvis Giles react to not having very many carries?
Yeah, we talked to all the guys that didn't play much, and there was a lot of players that didn't play much in the game. It was a fast game. I looked at 2 of the defensive guys. Did you play at all? No, Coach, I didn't get in. And Georgia only had 47 plays, and I remember asking Coach Long. He said, "Well, you guys were out there so long, we were well rested on defense, so we played about the same guys the whole way." And sometimes you have games like that. Kenny seemed fine yesterday. He understands. He's going to get the ball this week. He'll be in there a bunch, ready to go. But it was a game that Marcus was, knifing through guys and breaking tackles, and it was obvious to everybody in the ballpark that for us to win the game, just keep handing it to him and go from there.
Coach, at some point in the game, did you make a conscious decision to lose or win on Marcus's play?
Well, we made a decision to start running the ball after I think Stephen had the big sack and so forth. Spencer Lanning had some big punts that kept him bottled up way down there. But yeah, we got hit from the blind side, and then we had that big sack, and so it was time to just try to play smart. So fortunately, it worked out there.
You guys have been pretty productive in the red zone so far. I think 8 for 8 with 6 touchdowns. What's been the difference this year as opposed to last year, where you seem to struggle at times in the red zone?
Oh, I don't have the answer for that. We did fumble down there once. That wasn't in the red zone, I guess. No, I don't have the answer for that, but obviously we don't have but 1 touchdown pass all year, so we're running it into the end zone, which is something we've not been able to do since I've been here. It's been very difficult to run it in from 2-3 yard line. We had to try to sweep them or something to get in, but we've been pretty fortunate to run straight and get it in there. Yeah.
Steve, since Marcus's performance Saturday, just about everyone has an opinion on his running style, comparing it to Herschel, George, Emmett, and I asked Marcus himself, he says he likes Joseph Adai. Who does he remind you of? Anyone?
Yeah, I mentioned earlier that I think his style's a lot like Emmett Smith. Because Emmett, his shoulder pads seem to always be square when he's coming through the line of scrimmage. Tacklers do not get a good clean shot at his body because his pad level is so low. And even when they're diving at his feet and ankles, he's able to get his feet out of the ground if they come in there real low. And that's how running backs can stay healthy a long time. In fact, Emmett, gosh, I don't think he ever had any knee surgeries or anything, ankles or anything over the years. And he lasted a long time without injuries. So I think Marcus's style will keep him healthy. I believe, hopefully it will. And but we'll see how it goes. But he doesn't give the tacklers a good clean shot at him, and he has the ability to sort of just glance off and break tackles and so forth.
Steve, I really couldn't tell from what you said Sunday. What's Wesley's current status? Has anything changed at all?
We haven't heard anything.
I didn't know if he was back with the team.
No, he's not back.
Coach, I want to ask you a general question about college football. There's been a lot of talk this week. There's also been Boise State since they beat Virginia Tech. But some people are sort of looking at that Virginia Tech loss to James Madison and thinking what effect it's going to have on Boise State's chances to make the national championship game. What do you think that impact will have?
What do I think about Boise State's chance?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have a strong opinion of that. I did hear Bob Davie. You need to ask guys like Bob Davie. I just was watching ESPN, and he did our game here against Georgia. And he was commenting that he watched the Notre Dame-Michigan game afterwards, and he was telling whoever the announcer was there what a difference in athletes, the speed and quickness of the athletes down here in the SEC compared to up north. So that's what he was talking about. So when you talk about Boise State or whoever, the only way to ever settle those kind of situations is some kind of playoff, because they're not going to play the competition that the SEC schools play, and but there's not going to be a playoff, so it's going to come down to voting. I think we're the only sport in the world that does it a lot with voting. So that's just the way it is. That's the way it is, and we accept it. But we don't. We'll worry about that. That's not something I need to worry about. That's for sure. Okay.
Anything else for Coach?
All right. See you guys Saturday.